Hello, everybody. Today's the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Today's dog tip is for those of you who have already done e-collar training and your dog's up to speed. And a common mistake that people make once the dog is trained using a remote collar. And the mistake is people don't use it consistently, and they only begin to use it when they're kind of like at their wits' end. So for example, I get your dog spun up, we go over the board and train process, dog goes through the training process, they get the remote, I teach you how to do it, you go off on your merry way, we do all our follow-up lessons, all that good stuff. So you're like kind of down the road, dog knows what to do, dog knows what this means, all that. And what happens is owners begin to stop using the remote because the dog's obedience is like really good. And so they're like, oh, this is great. I don't even need to use this. And then they get a little lazy. They get a little lax in what they want their dog to do. And the dog starts frustrating them and they go, you know what? I'm gonna go put that e-collar back on. And they put the e-collar on, and then they start creating a bad association where this only means punishment. So what happens is the dog associates getting the collar on as now I have to obey. But up until then, I don't have to obey. But now my owner means business because I have this on, right? That is what we want to absolutely avoid. When I train dogs for off-leash, this means accountability, yes, but also freedom. We get to go run fields and go through the woods and do all sorts of fun things. So the dog sees this as a good thing. But when we stop using this every day, all day, to continue that obedience process, the dog starts to create a new association that this only means punishment, and they just kind of go back to doing what they were doing. So my advice on that is, once your dog knows what the e-collar is and they've gone through the training process, that you get up in the morning, you put their e-collar on, and you go and you do all your regular stuff, your obedience, your walking, all that, and you carry this with you everywhere. This is like, they make holsters for these, they make all sorts of doodads so you can carry this thing around, but you carry this around. I'm literally working out right now in the workout room, and I have dogs over here that are in rest time, and I have this with me while I'm working out so that if I need to follow through on something, I can do that. Another misconception or another thing that owners can do that will create that bad association, I've done it myself in the past, and you just start to learn over time and experience, like, ooh, that probably wasn't good, is the dog is even wearing the remote, and we're still trying to verbally correct and reinforce and getting frustrated, and then we grab this and we're like, now you have to obey me, right? So what the dog associates is even the body language of, I saw mom and dad pick this up and now I will comply, right? So it's all about association. So again, what I like to do is I just carry this around, right? I carry this around with me, and I'm not making a big deal of when I pick this up, right? So you don't want to get to the point where you're frustrated and then you're like grabbing this and then the dog's like, oh, okay, now I'll listen. So what you can do is you just carry this around you and you say, go to place, and the dog is on place and they break off of place, and because you have this with you, you can say and you hit the button and they go back to place, and they understand that language and they're like, oh, I got corrected, I need to go back to place. And then, hey, we go outside for a walk, or we go into the field, or we do whatever we're doing. But this continues to be a positive tool that does teach that accountability, but it's also not perceived by the dog in a way that I can do whatever I want until I have my e-collar on. So hopefully that's helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, let me know, and happy training. We'll see you next time.